distinguished ladies and gentlemen. It is both a privilege and an honor to welcome you to what I believe is a very important and timely conversation, and one that is not only necessary, but also very long overdue. And I say that very deliberately, because I know that times like this and moments like this when we're all gathered, it doesn't just happen by accident. It happens because there is a growing recognition that we need to do things intentionally as young people in Nigeria. For a long time, we know that there's been a gap between young people and government institutions, where young people are all the way over there and government institutions are all the way over at the other side. And it's not because we, the youth, are not interested. It's not because the institutions are also entirely closed. Instead, it is because the system itself was designed in such a way where the two don't naturally come together. But we have also identified over the years that if it is a structural challenge or a systemic challenge, then it is not impossible to fix. And that is one of the reasons why we are here today. And that is also one of the reasons why the Legislative Mentorship Initiative was created. Who here knows about the Legislative Mentorship Initiative? I mean, don't be shy. Okay, so a lot of people know about the Legislative Mentorship Initiative, but it was initiated in 2022 by Right Honorable Femi Gbajabiamila, who is now the Chief of Staff to the President, but was then the Speaker of the Ninth House of Representatives. And at the time, the work was very important. It was very iterative, and we asked ourselves, what if we could intentionally create pathways for young people to engage with governance systems, legislative systems, and politics? Pathways that Nigeria wouldn't only feel, but pathways that would impact the governance structure of this, our great nation. Essentially, we wanted to create movers and shakers that would disrupt the governance space in a positive way. And in the early days, right from the start, under the most capable leadership of Ambassador Dapo Oyewole, who was the inaugural director of the LMI, at the time, we were figuring things out in real time. We had more questions than we had answers, but one thing that we had was determination. And over time, our work began to take clearer shape, expanding, becoming more structured, and reaching more young people. Now we have a fellowship alumni of over 200 young people, and that will be growing every year. And along the line, I also found myself stepping into the shoes of the director. And what has become very clear to me in this journey is that work like this is not built on dedication and conviction alone. We can't do it by ourselves. We can't do it because we have spirit. But it moves because we have allies that have decided to support us, that have poured political will, resources, and a lot of time into ensuring that young people in Nigeria are not just seen, but are heard and are felt. And this is exactly what the National Assembly Library Trust Fund has done today. Under the leadership of Honorable Henry Unwamuba and the entire National Assembly Library team, they have offered us something practical. They have given us access, they have given us space, and they have given us consistent support over the years. So at this point, I just want us to pause and give a round of applause for the library. Thank you very much, sir. Today, the result of this partnership is obvious. And I know we all see it, we're all here in this nice air-conditioned room, ready to have conversations that will shape the future of Nigeria. But even beyond this, the National Assembly actively opens up its doors for young people. And now we have LMI fellows stepping into roles within the National Assembly because they put their money where their mouth is. Another round of applause. We're also here today because of another important decision, and that's the decision of the Federal Ministry of Youth Development. And they decided to take the National Youth Policy seriously. The former policy 2019 to 2023 had expired, and the ministry took it upon themselves to ensure that they go through an iterative consultative process to update the policy, and that is not a small thing. And so to the Honorable Minister, His Excellency Ayodele Olawande, who couldn't be here today but has sent a very capable representative, we thank you for creating space for this conversation to happen. And I also want to say, my dear friends, that this is not just another policy conversation. We go to policy conversations every week. Every week something is happening in Abuja. But we at the LMI, the Legislative Mentorship Initiative, the National Assembly Library, the Conference of Speakers and Presidents of African Legislatures, the Nigerian Youth Parliament, the Abuja Global Shapers, and every single person here today has designed this quite specifically. We are here to ask and also to answer some very practical questions, and I want you to listen to me very closely. We want to ask, how does the national youth policy move beyond the ministry and become something we as young people can actively own? We also want to ask, how do young people move from being consulted to actually shaping the outcomes? Who here wants to shape the outcomes? Do you want to move from just being consulted to actually shaping the outcomes? I want to hear your voices. Yes? Yes? That's why we're here today. And how do we build accountability within the system so that people can see, understand, and trust that this policy will actually come to fruition? And so by the end of the day, we will not just go home saying, oh, we had a good conversation. Instead, we will go home knowing that we have contributed to producing something concrete that your children, their children, and your grandchildren, your great-grandchildren can look back and say, oh, great-grandpa was part of something that actually changed the face of Nigeria. So at the end, we will have clear recommendations moving forward, actionable steps, a clear policy communique, and something that we can actually own. So we're all here for a specific reason, and we have a shared belief that things can be better. Do you think that things can be better? Do you know that things can be better? This is not a, I want to talk at you. This is a conversation. I want you guys to be gingered. Are you not gingered? Do you know that things can be better? Yes. Do you believe that things can be better? Yes. And that's why we're here today. So in our conversations, please be clear, be honest, be practical, and be respectful. People will have different opinions than you. It doesn't matter. We're all here, we're all different, but what matters is that we're all working towards the prosperity of Nigerian youth. So increasingly now more than ever before, it shows that institutions like LMI, the Nigerian Youth Parliament, CoSPAL, NALTF, and the ministry exist to ensure that transitions like this are more meaningful. And for us at LMI, we've seen that what happens when one idea is taken seriously can be catalytic for a lot of people. And so today is another step in our journey. And as I round up, I want to thank you for being here. Thank you for showing up. And thank you for showing that this actually matters. And so in this conversation, it's going to be a lot of work. And I just want to say, let's get to work. Thank you very much, everyone.